play the game with the people that writing the rules. Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And load me at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, that's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah. They know I'm going all in.
What's up, gentlemen? We are live, all the way live from the Bay Area. What's up, gentlemen? It is another Tuesday. Let's have some fun tonight. How you doing, Pete?
I'm good, Beto. Like, how you guys feeling?
It's a victory. How you doing, Brandon?
Yeah.
Doing good, man. It's another day. We beat the sorry-ass Dallas Cowboys once again, so I'm happy,
Even at our worst.
Even at our worst. Exactly.
And that's a conversation we're going to have because the reality is if they can't beat the Niners at their worst, because we're not even the best team in the NFC right now. We're beat up, we're hurt, and the Cowboys can't even beat us. Yeah, when will they? They definitely can beat a strong, fully healthy Niners. So let me ask you a question. Are the Cowboys done for this season? Will they miss the playoffs?
Oh, I think so. I don't see
The Cowboys?
There's just no.
Yes.
Yeah, they're bad. They're
Oh,
bad.
yeah, easily.
Because they can run the ball and they can't stop the run. And when you are a one-dimensional offense and you put all that pressure on Dak Prescott to beat you with his arm, he makes mistakes. He threw 2 interceptions on Sunday against us. And I don't think Dak is made of that piece of cloth that can win games without a running game. So, and they have a tight schedule too. So, like we said from the beginning of the show, they can't beat a hurt team, Niners. How are they going to beat a good team? How are they going to beat Washington, who won? How are they going to beat the Eagles, who won? Even the Bears, they shouldn't have lost. But it's going to be interesting to watch. The only team that is on their division is the Giants, and they stink it up. So, real quick before we continue to proceed, let's go ahead and say hello to Jimmy. What's up, Jimmy? We got Jimmy in the house. We got Bebop Jones. We got Don Dotson in the house. We got 49ers Throwback. We got East Coast Red and Gold. Jess Terror Dome is in the house. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate it.
What up, fam?
So, the Niners scathed a win 30-24. Now, the Dallas Cowboys got 2 touchdowns on us. But I think that was a little bit of the Niners kind of taking their gas off the pedal on defense. They kind of I hate that preview difference, whatever they call it.
Prevent?
Yes, I hate that because you get a lot of garbage time points. But I do like that when we were not able to get the first down and we had to kick the ball back to Dallas with 2 minutes on the clock, and the way they scored on us twice, I don't know about you guys, but it looked pretty deemed like, oh my goodness. And the defense stepped up. It was a 4 and out, and game was over. And then the young kid, Garindo, being smart as a rookie to go down and not go into the end zone to kill that clock was pretty impressive. Was there any moments, Brandon, that you're like, oh crap, we might lose this? Or were you confident that we were going to win it?
Well, after that last touchdown, which I kind of blame Jair Brown on that one, running into Treverius Ward, which made CD Lamb open in the end zone.
Yep.
Um, then I was like, shit, like here we go again, right? But I think that
I
next
think he
series,
ran into.
Jair Brown ran into Ward, who was covering.
I think
CD.
it was Renardo Green, wasn't it? Because Renardo Green
No,
got hurt on the play.
no, it was Brown.
Well, it's definitely two Niners running into each other, whoever they
Yeah, it
were,
was Brown.
that gave
So
away to that play to CeeDee Lamb.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, other than that, the defense looked great. But um, yeah, I was kind of worried towards the end, but once we got that last 4 and out, 3 and out, whatever you want to call it, then I was more calm. And I was like, okay, we won again, sweet. It
Yeah.
was a must win for sure, you know.
Well, I don't know if it was a must win, but a definitely crucial win. I don't think our season would have been over, but it wouldn't
Not by the numbers.
wouldn't have been fun going into the bye 3-5 instead of 4-4. So I'm with you, Brandon. It was a muchness at least for the fan base. It was a nice win to go in at least 500 and then get the opportunity to get some players back, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. There are players that are coming back from injury. But before we, because I want to lift up and pray and have a moment of silence for Shavarius Ward's daughter. Many of you already heard. For those that haven't heard, on Monday morning, Shavarius Ward lost his daughter. She went to heaven, and she was, I believe, 2 years old. As a parent, it's, kids are not supposed to bury the parents, but the parents are not supposed to bury their kids either. And it's just a chaotic thing. And when you lose a 2-year-old of that age, it's just heartbreaking. So my heart goes out to Shavarius Ward. Let's give a moment of silence for her daughter, and then Pete will give the ball to you about the game against the Cowboys. So let's all just give a moment of silence for Shavarius Ward's daughter. Thank you. Appreciate it. And keep their family in prayer. Keep Ward in prayer, man. I can imagine that what he's going through. So with that said, unless you want to add a little bit to that, what was your feeling, Pete, on Sunday when the Cowboys started to make that comeback and they started to get those 2 touchdowns pretty easily? Was there a part of you at any moment of time that you're like, oh, crap, there's an opportunity we can lose this game? Or were you truly confident saying, these are the Cowboys? They're always trying to come back. It seems like when there's pressure on Dak, he can't provide what they need. And when there's garbage time, he starts playing really good because the defense kind of back off. At any given moment, did you feel like we can lose this game, or were you confident enough that even though it got close, we were going to be victorious?
I mean, of course you want to be confident in those situations, but I'll be honest.
Keep it real,
with you.
bro.
Like I just saw it slipping. I saw it slipping, and I think if we didn't have as big of a lead as we did, it probably would have went the other direction. And I just think that they ran out of time. And honestly, they probably should have scored. Garendo would have scored on the one play, so it probably wouldn't have made such a difference. But yeah, the way the offense started just kind of sputtering out as usual, and honestly, it had really. I know people are making a lot of Purdy looked better in this game, it's specifically in the second half, but the first half didn't look good. Again,
No.
First half looked horrible.
It didn't look good again, and it looked like what adjustments were made, and I just keep asking the same questions, and people seem to just be happy with the victory, but we're looking for bigger things as Niner fans. Like, we're not looking for a regular season win against a bad team. Against a bad team. Like, this is, we shouldn't be happy with a small victory like that. We needed the victory. Absolutely. I'm happy that we got the victory. But we have to look forward, and if all we're counting on is some people to get healthy and we just have to overpower teams, and it's not about the execution, it's not about everything else that go the other all three facets of the game. I'm not saying that I don't see. I have ultimate confidence that they will figure this out and the team will end up in the playoffs. They're probably going to get at least one win in the playoffs, and it'll look right back to where we were, and people will sit there and tell us that we're crazy for ever doubting Shanny and all the other stuff. But I'm not going to. It's going to look at some point it's going to look the exact same, because you just can't. A leopard doesn't change its spots, so it is what it is. It's going to come back.
Pete, but don't you think that they made the adjustments in the second half?
Not that they didn't make it. Well, the adjustment was that Mason got hurt. Mason got hurt, and Garendo got in, and all of a sudden started gashing him with the speed. Like that. That was the real adjustment that I saw. Yeah, like Purdy started hitting guys, but I mean, that was the other part of it too, is just Purdy just started making better throws. I don't know that it was so much an adjustment. I know that Trayvon Diggs was saying that they adjusted, but I mean, that's really just kind of saving face, to be honest. Like, what are we talking about? I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about, oh, you don't know anything about Shanny if you were questioning Shanny or asking for him to get fired. And not that I want Shanny fired, but but just because we beat a bad team, I mean, what are we doing? Is that what we're grading Shanny's job on? Is a win against the Cowboys? Like,
yeah, I know win is a win, guys. I know win is a win, and you got to take it. But I'm with you, Pete and Brandon. I was telling my wife, I'm not pleased. I'm happy that we won because we got a W. You got to stack up those dubs, but I'm not happy the way we won. I'm not happy the way we're performing. Yes, I understand we have injured players. Yes, I understand we don't have a full crew. I understand that, but this offense has not been playing what we're accustomed to. They start slow. Shanahan is trying to do all these different things that I don't know. It just seems like the year started. Shanahan found out that Christian McCaffrey was not going to be able to play, and he just crumbled. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had all these ideas of how to use Christian McCaffrey, and now all that went out the door, and it seems like he's trying to catch up. And we started slow. Now, Brock Purdy made some bad throws, and it was on Brock Purdy, most definitely. On those throws, he overthrew behind Debo. A lot of those were
bad ones.
Bad ones, exactly.
Bad ones.
But he was able to regroup and readjust, and then he came out in the second half, and he kind of looked like Lamar Jackson out there running around for 56 yards. He still needs to get better, but when I went on Twitter in halftime, and I'm like, let go of Brock, trade Brock, and Brock is garbage, Brock is that, F Brock, all these things. I'm like, talk about emotional Niner fans. Yes, Brock played like crap. And if you want to see he play like crap, then you're within your right. He did. He stunk it up. But I don't know about you, Brendan. I don't know about you, Pete. Were you guys ready to get rid of Brock Purdy at halftime based on how he started? I wasn't.
Not.
You know how hard it is to get a quarterback?
Yeah, go for it. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking.
No. I'll get to you. You know how hard it is to get a quarterback? Everybody that still loves Trey Lance, he is the third guy in the depth chart in the Cowboys. Listen, they have Dak Prescott that they just paid $60 million per year, who sucks. Talk about getting a lemon. And they still won't start Trey Lance over Dak Prescott. That's how bad it is over there with him. people don't realize how good we have it with Brock. Now, did Brock have a bad game? Absolutely. But he came back in the second half, in my opinion, and redeemed himself the best that he could, and he got the win. Go ahead, Pete.
When people talk about injuries, like, this is my question, is where are the majority of the offensive penalties coming from?
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
From the offensive
Majority.
line.
It's majority of the offensive line, and like whether it be they're out of position or it's holding call. Okay, can we talk about how many people are injured on the offensive line?
Yeah.
0.
The tight end that got called
0.
back for Debo's touchdown, I wish he was injured.
Yeah, like, I mean, for the most part, like, and there's some one-offs, like Kittle got a penalty. I've seen Kittle get a penalty. I've seen a couple of the receivers get penalties, but the majority of it, holding calls, guys, illegal procedures, like a lot of that kind of stuff. It's not because the guys are hurt, is my point. That's not the reason why this offense is out of sync. It's really, to me, it's just, I hate to say it, but it's really preparation. It's got to be preparation. It can't be anything else, because because when you're talking about preparation, you're talking about being ready for the game.
Yep.
And executing, and that goes with preparation. So we can sit here and we can make it every excuse for Shanny, but I would say a lot of coaches right now would be on the hot seat with a team that was playing like the 49ers are playing, coming off of a Super Bowl, and not really. I mean, their quarterback is still healthy, offensive line's still healthy, like they still got weapons. I mean, who are we kidding?
Yeah, we don't have CMC, but still going into the ball for 200 yards.
I was about to say, going into the game, what's it called? Mason was still the number 2 rusher in the league, and Brock Purdy is I think he's like 3rd in most of the quarterback metrics.
Yep. Like,
even after this game, like, even though we call him struggling, I think the whole league is kind of struggling for really good quarterback play right now. I mean, we remember Pat Mahomes only got 154 yards against his defense the week prior. So I don't know. I look at this team and I think that we're lucky that there's a lot of teams out there that haven't figured it out. And they're still in the running. They're still probably going to – it's even possible for them to have a good seed going into the playoffs.
Right.
And like, I just think that they're lucky that this is kind of a down year for everybody right now. They're from week to week, any random team is struggling. So there's a whole bunch of opportunity out there, and I think it's going to end up helping the 49ers in the long run, but they've got to figure out some of these issues. Like the court, because it's not like we're getting subpar quarterback play on a regular basis. It's not like we're getting bad running back. We don't have any running backs. It's not like we don't have any weapons. Like, we need to get this offense in sync. Like, and that starts with the offensive line, in my opinion. And I know that the offensive line hasn't played really that bad, but I'm talking about those penalties. I mean, we've got special teams gaffes. We've got then all of a sudden the defense that had been playing great for the first half. Then all of a sudden it's their turn to not play great and have a bunch of communication issues. At what point do we start looking at the coaching staff and saying, "Hey, where is the prep?" And that would be my question.
I could see that for sure. Because, I mean, we've been seeing it all season, right? Like, a lot of the blame for sure has to do with the coaching staff. The way that the team's been playing so far, regardless of the injuries. Everybody gets injuries. We can't make that an excuse. At the end of the day, it's the next man up, right? That's how we always fucking said it every single season. It's the next man up. So, like you said, Pete, we could be pointing fingers at the coaching staff as well. You know? So.
You know, just be happy, though, that were not the coaching staff of the Bears on that
jeez.
on that
Oh
Hail
man,
Mary.
bro.
Talk
That's
about
I
that
was
was
I was
crazy.
watching. I was in the restaurant at the time when that was happening, and it was a sushi place, and like the whole place just erupted when it happened.
But I brought it up
And yeah,
because
it was
you talked about preparation, right? You prepare.
Yeah.
Everybody prepares for the Hail Mary. You got to turn this into like a basketball where you got to kind of push back. You got to make sure you have maybe two jumpers. You got to have a guy in the back. And then you got your safety or corner, whoever that idiot is, waving to the fans and argue while the actual
Trying to
play is
celebrate
going on.
already.
Yeah, that's wild. I saw that and I was like, "Oh my
He's
god!"
all, and then he turns around and they're already running on the field, and he's like,
And then he's the one that tips it.
yeah, and he's the one to tip it, and you're
And
supposed to
then
tip
the
it
head
down.
coach,
He tipped it backwards,
the head
Brandon.
coach-
Yeah.
the head coach is did you see that the head coach is petitioning with the league to possibly overturn the game because they said that there was a whole bunch of holding calls in that play. And
They always hold on to Hail Marys, bro.
Yeah.
Referees
I mean,
always let it go.
what are we talking? I was like, wow. Come on. Just take the L and just move on.
And then he
Nobody
made
was expecting y'all to do anything.
Yeah.
You're better than what people thought you were going to be.
even the coach said, we practiced this 100 times. I don't know if he should have said that because that made him look more like an idiot. You practice this 100 times, but yeah, you go blow it. You don't got that Washington guy was by himself back there. He wasn't even shocked that he caught the damn ball. He's like, "Oh crap, okay." And like Brandon said, he batted it backwards instead of down.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
You had the game won, and you got the moron over there waving at the fans, taunting the fans because he thinks he has a victory. People forgot to remind him, or need to remind him, game ain't over until the clock says 0. And this is a very important part for players to realize anything can happen. So congratulations to the Commanders. Jalen Daniels is playing really good football. But the Bears, man, that was embarrassing. I only brought that up. I brought it up because it happened, but because you're talking about preparation, they were not prepared for that spot. And not only that, but the play before. That play before that Hail Mary, they had everybody all the way down. And they let the middle of the field open. The receiver of the Commanders caught the ball all by himself. Nobody near him. And then they had a spy on the quarterback. On the Hail Mary. On the Hail Mary throw, you have a spy. Why would you have a spy on a Hail Mary?
That doesn't make much sense.
You think he's really going to run all those yards?
He gonna run it?
Yeah, bro, come on.
I was shocked that Jaden Daniels has a cannon.
Oh yeah,
He threw that from the 35.
Yeah.
From his own 35. That was a perfectly thrown Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks are going to have time because they're always rush 3. On a Hail Mary, you're always going to rush 3. You're never going to blitz because you don't want to. You need as many players in the back end as possible. You're not going to risk that. But when you had a spy, and I'm looking at the video, and I'm like, what are these guys thinking? I mean, they gave that a game away to Washington, but Washington deserved it. They won it. They're 6-2. The Bears are 4-3. But enough of them. I just wanted to bring that up because I was wild for what happened on Sunday. But back to the Niners. The Niners are 4-4 going into the bye. A much needed bye. We're going to get some troops back. Hopefully we're getting CMC back. Hopefully we'll get Greenlaw back eventually. I'm going to start with you, Brandon, and I'll give it to Pete. Do you think
this was the question I was going to ask you too?
If they bring CMC back after the bye, Do you think because of his ability of football, do you think he just takes off to where he left off? Or do you think it's going to take him a game or two or three to kind of adapt back to football?
I'll say that once we get CMC back, I think it's going to take at least maybe a game or two for him to get back into the groove and everything. But CMC is not the only one that we're going to be getting back after the bye as well. It's not going to be week 10, but maybe week 11, week 12, we get Dre Greenlaw back. So we're getting a couple players back for sure from injury. And so I'm kind of going to reverse the question to you, Beto, and ask you this. It's going to be a different question, but it has to do with CMC. CMC coming back, does this juice up the 49ers offense again? Or not again, but like just in general.
I know what I hope so. I really do. I hope so. But bring some energy to that offense, and hopefully that red zone issue that we have, fixes itself with the presence of seeing. People may want to agree with me or not. That offense looks completely different in what they can do with CMC on the field, on how defensive coaches have to prepare for our offense. Whenever you have Christian McCaffrey, which is a true threat, he can burn you in the run. He can burn you in the catch.
Well, especially because Kyle plans around CMC like he does with Debo.
Yeah, he straight plans around. I hope he brings the Spire, the throwback. I hope the Niners I think the Niners are going to sit there and reset. This is at least my hopes, that they're going to reset everything. Kyle's going to have to evaluate what has been working, what hasn't, make the second half of season adjustments. And then now that we have CMC, as long as he stays healthy and doesn't re-injure himself, we should have to make a good run at this. Listen, when Greenlaw comes back, whether it's at week 11, week 12, if we can get into the playoffs with a fresh Greenlaw, now Greenlaw has to play the way we custom of him playing, not like a different type of player because of the injury. If he can be the Greenlaw of old, and then you get CMC, who also has no mileage this season so far, and we get into the playoffs, that's a good thing for us to have fresh legs in CMC and fresh legs for Greenlaw. Pete, the question that Brandon asked me, I want to kind of switch it over to you. If CMC comes back, do you think the offense kind of puts it into another gear, or they're kind of remain the same?
I don't think it'll be the same. I think that what's going to happen is all of a sudden, magically, the offense is going to open up. And because Kyle's going to play, he's going to start calling plays completely differently, like he's got CMC in the game. Right. And I think that that's part of the problem right now, is that instead of just calling the plays, regardless of who's in who's there, he's calling plays specifically with CMC in mind. And and also don't think that it doesn't factor into it that Brock is actually going to throw it to him when he's open. Because our running backs have been open like crazy all season long, and Brock's just not throwing him the ball. And I don't know if that's because he's being told not to. I don't know if that's because he doesn't have as much trust that they can get the first down. I don't know what it is, but CMC is not a unicorn. I don't understand the whole point of having these guys. It was the same thing when before we had CMC. We never threw to our running backs.
Yep.
Nope.
We never threw to our running backs. And I don't get that whole premise. Just because it's CMC doesn't mean that it's some magic that all of a sudden, CMC is so great at catching passes underneath it, blah, 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 and screens and all the other stuff. Give those other guys opportunities. But to answer your question, it's absolutely going to make a difference, because now all of a sudden the calls are going to be different. And Kyle's going to have, at the very least, more confidence in calling those screens and underneath plays with CMC out there.
Yeah, and I don't think the defenses are going to be putting 8 and 9 in the box anymore with CMC there because they don't want the opportunity where the CMC can get behind that linebacker and you could throw a screen to him and he's going to burn you. So I think you're right. I think you guys are right. This offense will be different. Now, real quick, we'll stay on CMC a little bit. Talking about running backs. Jason re-aggravated his shoulder, Mason, and didn't. I think he could have came back if we really needed him, but because of the fact that Isaac Guerrero kind of started to show that he's feeling more comfortable in this offense, I want to get Pete. We'll go start with you. What were your thoughts of Guerendo's performance after he started to feel himself in that offense in that game?
I mean, I thought that this is when I was talking about him before the season and we were talking about the draft and all the other stuff. This was the same stuff that I said about him at the time, was I thought he would fit in this offense. He's a one cut and go type of guy. And he has the speed to hit the hole on those wide zone plays. All we had to see was, could his vision improve as a runner? And he seems to be getting better every game. So, and he's got the speed to, I called him before the season, I called him a space eater. You don't realize how fast he's going until he's already on you. And that he's one of those guys. And you think that you have a lot of space but the one thing that he doesn't have is he doesn't have a lot of wiggle. He's just a true one cut and go
downhill.
Guy.
He's a downhill runner. Yeah.
Yeah. He cannot. He is not gonna juke a guy out of his socks to once he's going in that direction, and he's gonna run you over. So he's not gonna break many tackles.
No, but if he gets past second base, he's gone.
Yeah. If he catches an angle, you're if he beats your angle, you're done. Because he's gonna get big chunk yards just because he's got that speed and he seems to be really good. It gives them the ability to run the wide zone the way it's supposed to be ran. And because as much as I love Mason, he's not fast enough to get out there on that edge quick enough. The whole team is already out there already. And it looks great when he runs and with the physicality and runs through guys, but eventually teams are able to key in on that. You can't key in on speed. If you get out there, and this whole offense is timing based. If he gets out there on that edge on time, it's going to be really hard for defenses to really catch up with that run game.
Yeah, real quick, guys. I just want to make a correction here on Tommy Huxley. Welcome to the show. Does it look like I hate any type of food?
Does you hate tacos?
Does it look like I hate any type of food? Listen, round is a shape too. So I'm feeling this shape pretty damn good. So let's go, Mitch. I love all type of food. So I just wanted to correct Tommy on that. Go, Brandon. Go ahead. Fill in your thoughts, bro.
No, just I feel like JP Mason, I think it's still a stinger with his shoulder. I think he'll be okay still. But don't get me wrong, I love JP Mason, but just the way Isaac Guerrero runs the ball and finds the holes to just go and take off, I would love to see him more out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's fast.
Well,
he just has to find that hole. Well, the hole has to kind of open up for him, or he has to make the right cut. And if that cut that he makes is the right one, and he gets past the linebackers, he's gone. Because that secondary is not going to stop him.
I don't know why we're talking. If CMC is starting, that's the last we've seen of both of these guys.
But what I'm saying,
I don't
think.
I was trying to hype everything up to mention that too, Pete. But you're right. I don't know. Mason, you might see him a little bit, but Isaac, gone.
Here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. Kyle is not going to use CMC a full goal the first couple weeks.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
is.
think so. I don't think he will.
As
Did
long as
you remember-
I
CMC
think
says, "Give me the ball."
Wait.
Ease him in.
Do you remember? Do you
There you
remember
go.
when CMC first got on the team? Hadn't even had a week of practice.
Yeah, but that's
Like,
when
and
was
he
healthy.
forced him on the field.
Yeah. The dude can be on crutches,
Like,
bro, and they're going to throw him the ball. Because, like we mentioned earlier,
Kyle just don't care.
he game plans. With you said it too, Brandon. He game plans with CMC like he does Debo. So
They
if
said
he
Debo was gonna be on a
gets
pitch
that
count, too.
piece, if he gets that piece out there, he's going to use him. And now, to Brandon's point, is it smart to use him? Absolutely not. But we're talking about Kyle now. We're not talking about what's smart and what's not smart. We're talking about Kyle. Kyle will use him, even if we think they should put more of Jordan Mason and Garindo to kind of ease CMC in. But CMC starts catching the ball a little bit, and he starts getting more comfortable in the game plan. Garindo's going to be sitting down with the cheerleaders with the pom-poms. Because
We might all die tomorrow.
Oh, wow. That's a little dark.
That's
there,
what
bro.
Kyle says. That's what Kyle says. We might all die tomorrow.
Yeah,
So-
we're not guaranteed we'll be here on Sunday.
Yeah. So it is what it is. This might be our last game. So that's the way he feels about it. He did it all last season. CMC had like a record amount of carries. Like everybody kept asking him, do you have any plans on like giving him a little bit of a nope, not gonna do it. I'm gonna keep giving him feeding him the ball 30 times a game.
Last year, we the conversation that we were having, correct me if I'm wrong, they're giving the ball to CMC all the time because they don't trust Mason. Kyle doesn't trust Mason. He doesn't, blah, 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 right? Well, Mason has been shown that he can be trusted. Garindo showed that he can be trusted. So now, if Pete is right and Kyle does not allow them to play, because it has nothing to do whether they trusted these guys or not last year, is he's infatuated with CMC, and the only running back that he sees, you know how they say when you feel dizzy, you see three people? It says hit the one in the middle. He can see Garindo and he can see Mason, but he's always hitting the one in the middle, which is CMC. And that's Kyle for you. And I don't like that about Kyle. Definitely don't like that about him, but he is, and that's what he does.
And you
What's
know
up,
that
Papa
they'll
Dre?
ask him after the game. You know that they'll ask him after the game, what? Hey, like, do you think you should have rested? Like, do you think CMC should have gotten all his? You're like, hey, we're just putting the best players. He's healthy,
Yep.
so like we've got to put the best players out there to win the game.
He won't play next week, but he was healthy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it
But
is,
yeah,
bro.
I will say this about Garindo, like, be careful in crowning him just yet, because, and I think a lot of people, it's a person has a good game, and then we all that like rush to crown him. And I like Garindo from the beginning, like, but I think that the Cowboys were a good matchup. They were the worst team in the league in run defense.
Yeah, they can't stop anybody.
So let's not base Garindo's coming out party on Dallas.
That is true. That's a good point.
And like
That's not a good measuring stick.
Yeah, the very next game it could look terrible. I mean, Tampa Bay is not doing so hot this season either. But
No.
but at the same time, just be careful what you ask for, because then in the very next game it could not look so hot. Just depending.
You know, it's funny you say that because you're right. Dallas can't even stop Ezekiel Elliott in practice. And Ezekiel Elliott can't run for nothing. We can run faster than Ezekiel.
Right.
So
Well,
that's a valid point.
Purdy ran for the same amount of rushing yards as Dallas did as a team.
No more.
Yeah, that's the one where he faked out the spy was the one that got me.
Oh, yeah.
The guy was supposed to be spying him, and he fake pumps the one way, and then got the guy to completely jump in one direction, and then he runs the other. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's the guy that was supposed to be on our team. this year. And
Oh,
decided
Kendricks?
he decided to go to Dallas. That he got, which was I thought it was good.
I think the biggest reason why he didn't come here is because we already had Devondre Campbell.
No, we did not. We had to get him because this dude decided to go to
maybe
Dallas. What hindrance was, he knew Greenlaw was coming back eventually, and he might have lost his spot.
That's what it would be.
In Dallas, he is the main guy there. So from that perspective, because he's definitely not taking over for Fred.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and he doesn't play the other position, the other linebacking position very well.
Yeah.
So I think that was his thing. Now he didn't realize how long Greenlaw was going to be out, but anyway, he's there. We don't need him. You know what? I regress.
Anything would be better than Devondre Campbell.
Yes,
that
we
guy
do need
is
him.
just
We
terrible.
do need him. Yes.
That guy is terrible.
Yes, I would have needed Hendricks. Yeah, that's why when I said it, it kind of registered my brain. I'm like, what are you talking about? Anything better than Campbell. And you know what? It's not even Campbell's fault, man. The guy's up there in age. He lost a lot of speed. They offered him a paycheck. Who in their right mind is not going to take a paycheck to start for a team?
I don't blame him.
Exactly.
I don't blame him.
I blame
But
that John and Kyle.
It's hilarious that every team is motioning their guy to get a matchup against him and just burn him on the pass, though. It seems to happen like every other play. And I think that's going to be a big factor when Greenlaw comes back, is that teams won't be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of plays. I mean, just think about all the plays. I'd be interested to see the stat on how many times Devondre Campbell is targeted in the game.
It's terrible.
And like how many passes that he gives up. Because it's got to be a significant number.
Oh yeah, it's up there. If you put him next to Fred Warner, you can use that analogy. This is Fred Warner when you're sober, and Campbell is when you're on drugs. Do not do drugs, kids. It slows you down. And again, I don't blame him, bro. But hey, real quick, let's talk about our secondary for a minute. Let's get a little excited about our secondary. They starting to find a groove now. Charvarius Ward, and now we understand why. Why his mind and his head wasn't really in every game when you're dealing with your daughter's sickness. It is what it is.
He had some injuries too.
He had 2 injuries as well. But Lenore's been playing good football. Malik has been playing better than Brown. Brown's been okay. Jair Brown. I like Mustafa's played a bit more, and Ronaldo Green has been playing good football as well in his first year. He's hurt, yes. Hopefully, he's day-to-day, so he should be back. But I do like what we got in our secondary. And once Hufanga comes back, and I think he's going to be another one that'll be back after the bye, which will be, be good for us. If we can just continue to stack wins, and once we get Greenlaw, I know people are going to say once we get CMC, it's going to take off, and I hope so. But I think, to me, the player that we really need to come back is Greenlaw on defense. That defense does not look the same without Greenlaw. And if Fred Warner wasn't there, it wouldn't look the same either. But he is there, but he's only one man. The pass rush, people don't give the pass rush credit enough. They're like, they're not putting pressure because they're not getting sacks. They are bringing havoc on the quarterbacks. But if the quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball in 3 to 4 seconds, what can the damn defensive lineman do? You got to deal with the offensive line first. And then when you get away from them, if they get rid of the ball, it's hard to get to the quarterback. But if you bring pressure, if you disrupt the quarterback, if you make sure he's not going through his reads, that to me is just as important than getting sacks. Now, do I want him to finish and get a sack? Absolutely. But I want to see pressure. Now, so I don't think the defensive line, has been getting the proper respect this season. They're saying that they're terrible. Bosa's terrible. Does he have 7 or 8 sacks by now? No. I don't think he's been that bad. Let me know if I'm completely wrong on this, guys.
Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I agree with you 100%, Beto. Just I think Bosa. We just got to come to a conclusion that Bosa will get the pressures and everything, but he's not going to be as crazy as TJ Watt is, right? So I'm honestly fine with Bosa getting more pressures than sacks because it actually forces the quarterback to throw the ball faster, right? Or kind of scare him a little bit, right?
If he can do both, even better. But
even better, exactly. But if he can't, as long as he get the pressure going and a lot of, I'm not saying this game it happened.
I love Bosa, but he's not TJ Watt, bro. He's not Max Crosby. He's not.
Since he's gotten paid, he's digressed, and a lot of players do after they get paid.
TJ Watt has got him better. But I know.
Watt, except for TJ Watt. TJ Watt's just a freaking
He's an outlier. Yeah, that guy's a freak.
I'm trying to look up the size.
As you look at, okay, go ahead.
What I'm seeing a lot of is him getting chipped and then hit by somebody and knocked down. He got washed out. Yeah, grabbed, tackled, but he's getting knocked to the ground a lot.
Yep.
And
and they're not calling it either.
I'm wondering, they're not going to call it, but I'm wondering the size difference because I know Nick Bosa is 266 pounds and he's 6'4". What is TJ Watt? How big is TJ Watt?
I think they're about the same. As you look it up real quick.
Because it's weird to see. No, he's actually lighter, but he plays from that outside linebacker spot.
TJ's bigger?
No.
TJ's lighter. Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's lighter than, but you don't see him getting thrown all over the place. And maybe I need to watch more tape and see if I see that as much. But
no, he does. He does.
It's kind of crazy. Like I will say this about Bosa, he just doesn't stop coming even when he's double, triple teamed. And I know that a lot of people sit there and question this amount of sacks, but I feel like when we play teams, they speed up their release time.
Yes.
Just because, regardless, they're getting the ball out quicker because they know that they don't have time. And you would think that would be the same thing for TJ Watt, but I really can't explain it. I'll be honest with you. But I do see Bosa get stoned a lot. And he does get by guys. Bosa's a great player, but I do see him get stonewalled quite a bit. Like whatever the reason is, he's not always. He doesn't affect a game like TJ Watt does, in my mind. Or a guy,
Max Crosby,
or the what's the guy for the Browns?
Garrett, Myles Garrett.
Garrett, yeah, Myles Garrett.
Did you see his costume? By the way,
no, I didn't.
He came in as a Terminator. It was pretty clean. It was a clean costume as he was walking in, and he has the height, so it was definitely a clean costume. No, I'm with you. Bosa gets chipped out a lot. He is great. I love that he's on here. Would I want TJ Watt? Absolutely, but I'm happy with Bosa. We've been getting some great play from Collins. We've been getting some great play from Jordan Elliott, which has been great. These guys are pulling the weight. And I don't know what it is with opposite of Bosa when it comes to the Niners, but Leonard Floyd has kind of not been the Leonard Floyd that we were hoping we would get when he was in Buffalo. He still does his thing, but he's not bringing the havoc that we're accustomed to see him do at other teams. So hopefully that'll step up. But I think once Greenlaw comes back, it's going to be a completely different defense. People don't realize how bad of a play Campbell does and how he gets burned a lot. And once we get Greenlaw, now this will be if we get Greenlaw to the best of his ability. Because if he's not the same man that got hurt, that's going to be a whole different conversation. But if he can play to as close as to what he was playing last year before getting hurt, because if you guys don't remember, Travis Kelce was being shut down in the Super Bowl. He was being so frustrated that he was beating up on his head coach on the sideline because he couldn't get away from Greenlaw. Once Greenlaw went out and they brought in the other linebacker that is somewhere else now, Kelce just became a freaking MVP of the game. You know what I mean? So we'll see. What's up, TL? Welcome. We got Papa J that walked in. Bebop has popped in. David McNiner has popped in. Tim Diaz.
What up, McNiner?
And Chemo. Now, Chemo had a question. Let me answer this quick question for you, for him. I'm gonna answer this for anybody. DeForest Buckner is not coming back to the Niners. Okay? It's like going back to your ex. It happens. Okay? But if you already know how your ex is, I'm like, what are you doing? Then him and the Niners left in bad terms. He wanted more money. The Niners didn't pay him. He felt that he didn't get paid what he was worth. I don't see him coming back to the Niners. I really don't.
Yeah.
When it comes to Kendrick Bourne, I don't want him back. I don't know about you guys.
He's always hurt.
He's always hurt.
Yeah.
He's people compare him a lot to Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings is a freaking Pro Bowler next to Bourne.
And he would have been Super Bowl MVP last year.
Yes, he would have. Yeah, so neither of these players are coming. Now, which one is more realistic? Kendrick Bourne. Absolutely. If you tell me that one is coming, I will say Kendrick Bourne. Do I want him?
I don't.
But not the Forrest Buckner.
I don't think they're going to go and get another wide receiver now.
No, I'm with you.
They're not.
Based on what we saw this last game, the rookies looked pretty decent. From what I agree. They look pretty good.
Talk about the rookie. Finally, we got a jet sweep with Pearsall.
And it looked nice.
We
got a chance to. I don't think anybody planned on.
Let's go. The Yak boys are coming back. The Yak guys.
What was crazy, and we got to mention it. Chris Collinsworth, his comment about Ricky Pearsall's speed. Like what? I don't understand. He just did a jet sweep.
I watched that game on mute, bro. So you got to tell me. I don't listen to that fool.
Yeah, he's running by the defense, and Chris Collinsworth says, "Oh, they got this guy, Ricky Pearsall, and he's not the fastest, and he's not the this, and he's not the that." But it's like, what are you trying to say?
That dude hates the Niners with a passion, bro.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was weird, but Pearsall got a chance to show off the athleticism. He actually ran a couple of really nice routes in that game. And then Cowing, I think, runs pretty good routes himself. He just doesn't get a lot of opportunities. But to be in the pass game that much, I don't know what that's about. Like, you know how Kyle is. But I think after the bye, Jennings will probably be back by that time. Then they'll have him, Debo, Cowing, and Pearsall, and then you still got Bosa. So, I mean, how many wide receivers are the 49ers really going to use? And they still got Conley, and so I don't see them bringing.
Now, Conley got hurt. He might not play this week. I mean, this week. Well, next week.
I mean, he's got to bye.
Nobody's going to play this week, actually. But yeah,
he's got to bye. So, and I mean, they still got the other dude, Go Blue. I can't remember what his name is.
Don't even mention
Ronnie Bell.
Oh my God, you mentioned him.
Well, he played.
He shouldn't play.
Okay, well, they're not gonna trade for somebody just.
No. I'm with you. I'm with you. You know what? I stand corrected. I would take Kendrick Bourne over Ronnie Bell. I would. At least he can catch the ball. The problem with Kendrick Bell, he'll catch the ball 1 week and miss 3 weeks. So
no, come on.
And Ronnie Bell plays every week, but he catches the ball only once, so it's kind of even.
But he blocks.
Yeah, he blocks. He blocks. He does, and he's not bad at special teams. I don't know. He had really good hands last year. I don't know. I think he just forgot how to how to catch. Maybe he focused too much on the blocking that he forgot how to catch.
I think the only thing that they need is somebody on the defensive line. They just need one more person on the defensive line, and I don't even think it has to be an every down type of person. I think it's just a rotational guy. Right. I saw Brad bring up Calais Campbell. I saw what's his name, BD Peacock bring up was it Zaire Smith? Zaire.
They should have got that guy Deontay, the one that went to the Ravens. That's what they should have got from the Panthers if they were going to get a receiver. But
yeah, they're not.
But they're
he's not a Shanny type. He's not a Shanny type. I know that everybody gets enamored by all these flashy receivers, but that's not a Shanny type. There's a specific type of receiver that Shanny likes, and he's not a Shanny type. He's not gonna block.
Yeah, if you don't block, you don't get the rock. That's just
at all.
Yeah,
you don't even get to play. You don't even get to try and get the rock.
What do you think, Ronnie Bell? As bad as he is in catching, he's at least out there. Why? Because he can block, and because he can block, he'll get his opportunities to try to catch the ball here and there. Right. Guarantee you, Ronnie Bell's not blocking. We would not be talking about him at all. That dude would have been like, is he still on the team? Danny Gray could not block. That's why he's gone. So
see.
The Niners go on a bye as we come closer to our hour. The Niners are on a bye. They're getting rested. They're going to come back. We're going to face a team in Tampa Bay, and we'll have next week to talk about it in depth since we're not having a game this weekend coming up. They may possibly be. I know they're going to be for sure without Chris, one of the receivers. They may be without both of the receivers when they face us. So that'll be an interesting game. At this
Chris
point,
Godwin.
Yeah, Chris Godwin. Because I knew Chris, but I was thinking Chris Conley, and I knew it was a Conley, so I couldn't.
You started to say, I thought you were talking about the Niners.
No. I was talking, the one you mentioned, that's what I was going to talk about. But Thielen is hurt, Brad. He is hurt. He's on IR for the Panthers. So there's no reason to bring someone just to put him on an IR. Unless he got miraculously healed that I'm not aware about. But, yeah. Brian Burns, he just went to the Giants this offseason. I don't see the Giants getting rid of him after,
That's a lot of dead money.
Yeah, so this is the thing. If we can be honest, there's a lot of good names out there, but you got to be rationally and look at everything. Like Brian Burns is a good fit. If he was still with the Panthers, then we can talk about getting him. But he went to the Giants. Pete made a very good point. The Giants get rid of him. You know how much dead cap money they're going to have to pay? They're not going to get rid of him like that. So it's just not happening. So whatever players...
They gave him a new deal, right? They did give him a new deal when they went.
I think so. Yeah, they give him a new deal. So there's a lot of dead cap. So you got to keep that in mind. There's a lot of great players out there, but you got to realize, is it worth the team getting rid of? And probably not. So I'll be honest with you. I'll be shocked if anybody comes by next week. Next week will be the end of the trade. I don't think anybody will be brought up. I think this Niners.
I don't think they're going to trade.
Yeah, they're not going to give assets.
They're going to wait when teams, when teams eventually let go, not randomly, but when the deadline to release players and all that kind of stuff, when that starts coming up and gets closer. Inevitably a whole bunch of veterans are going to get released off of bad teams, and that's when I think the 49ers might strike.
Okay, Brad,
depending on where they are.
Thielen has been practicing, so okay. Yeah. I still don't want him, but listen, if we bring a receiver, we're taking we want to see what we gave a number 1 for Parcell. We gave a 4th round pick for Jacob Cowing. We got to see our guys develop and play more. You start bringing receivers from the outside, you're taking away from the how many amount of balls they're going to get. I think at this point, just run with what we have and go. Now, if we lose more injured, that can be a whole different situation. But I think we're covered pretty good at receiver. I don't think anything. I think if there was a position that we need, but we're not getting it by next week, it's a pass rusher. So at this point, we just got to go in. We're getting Greenlaw back eventually. We're getting CMC. We're getting Hufanga. We're getting Juwan Jennings. This team will be okay. And once Christian McCaffrey is on the line and our offense turns it around and helps out the defense, then we might be talking a different story in about 5 weeks from now. So we have to be patient. I understand we're 4-4, but things can change with Christian McCaffrey on the offense. Maybe that's the confidence that Shanny needs to call his plays. We don't know, but we'll find out. We'll find out because we have Tampa Bay. Who do we play after Tampa Bay? You guys know?
After Tampa Bay, we play. Oh, it's a big game.
I know. Buffalo and Packers are in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's Buffalo.
Buffalo,
I want to say
yeah.
it's Buffalo. I gotta look.
So we have Buffalo in there. We have the Packers, and those two teams are back to back. If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
it's the Seahawks. We have the Seahawks.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we have the Seahawks. Then we have the Packers after that,
And then Buffalo.
and then the Buffalo.
Okay, okay. So it's gonna be a stretch. I'm glad if we're gonna face Buffalo and the Packers, I would rather do it, guys, with CMC in the lineup than without him.
Yeah.
If I
With
can
a
be
couple
honest.
of weeks, with a couple of weeks of playing time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, I'll start with you, Brandon, and then I'll give it to you, Pete. What do you got going on in your channel, man? What are you doing? And let us know how they can find you and follow you.
So Niner Fanatic Podcast. I will be
Brandon.
on Thursday. I'm still going to do.
Hold on. Okay, I think Pete forgot his name. So we're going to go with Brandon and then Pete. And Brandon starts talking, and I'm like, what?
Got you.
No, go ahead, Pete. You go now.
Okay. So Niner Fanatic Podcast. Even though we don't have a game this week, I'm still going to do my show on Thursday, and we're going to talk about just some things that I feel that the 49ers could do going into the bye that could help them going forward, because really what we need is them to come out on fire coming out of the bye, and they just some things to look for. And then so I'll be doing my show on Thursday. And then I'll probably won't do another show until that Tuesday. I was supposed to do an instant reaction show after the game, but I've been sick all weekend, so I'm just now being able to breathe. So it's but yeah, I'll be doing the show with you guys, and then I'll have another show on that next Thursday. But Niner Fanatic Podcast, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I am on Twitch, and anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care where you get it, just get it.
Just get it. Go ahead, Brandon. Where can they find you and what you got going on?
All right, so later this week, I'm hoping to get a show going with the boys to go over the Cowboys game again, this time with my crew. But if you guys haven't yet already, please follow me up here, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And then if you guys don't want to see this ugly mug, you can listen to the audio portion on all your audio podcasting, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM, all that good stuff. But yeah.
Right on. That's where you can find them, guys. And for myself, on Tuesdays in the afternoon, like today, we go live, all three of us, every Tuesday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And then on Thursdays, myself and Jess will go live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Jess from the East Coast, Red and Gold. So make sure to join us. And then periodically in between, depending on what's happening with the Niners or if I'm bored, I will go live. So make sure to have the notification bell on. With that, we want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us for an hour. You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting Pete. Thank you for supporting Brandon. We appreciate you guys. You guys are the true MVP. Remain faithful. Enjoy this weekend. We're not going to win, but we're not going to lose. So let's have some fun watching some football. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. We're out here. Peace.
Go
Good night,
Niners.
everyone. Go Niners.